My cousin's boyfriend is constantly hitting on me behind her back. I've been friends with my cousin. We're like sisters. For my entire life, we grew up together in the same house. We went to the same schools together all the way to college. And now, she won't believe me when I tell her this. She thinks that I'm just jealous because she has a hot boyfriend. He's not hot. He's a creep. But besides that, guys, I don't know what to do. Hey guys, I'm Tara. I live with my cousin Gracie, and she's like my own sister. However, there's a distance between us now caused by her boyfriend, who is a very inappropriate man that my cousin should never have begun dating. Me and Gracie grew up together. My father and his sister had us around the same time, and they wanted us to grow up together as besties. So they lived on the same street. And their wishes came true because Gracie and I have been the best of buddies, even back when we were barely able to be. Well, my mother loved telling me that we used to cause quite a scene when departing from each other when we were toddlers. We also went to school together, and people often confused us for twins, because we looked quite similar as well. We loved it when people thought that we were sisters, because we are sisters in our heart. We shared clothes like sisters, and we shared secrets like sisters. The only time we were apart in our lives was when we went to college. We chose different colleges, but we made do. We would text almost every day, and the weekends were mostly spent FaceTiming with each other in the middle of running errands. I didn't really have a good experience in college. I didn't like sharing my personal space with somebody I didn't particularly know, and there was some other stuff as well. I just wanted a fresh start. I tried working for a year, but I did not really like it there, so Gracie suggested that we move in together. It was an amazing plan, really. I never quite liked having a housemate at college, but I grew up with Gracie, and I know almost everything about her, so I knew I would not have any issues in that regard. She and her boyfriend Luke began looking for two-bedroom apartments for us while I packed up my house and made the road trip to Gracie just in time. I never really liked Luke, ever, since I met him. He is creepy. He has a creepy vibe, and it radiates from him. I often tried to avoid ever being alone with that guy, but soon he would start taking liberties by propositioning me, and to my outrage would pretend like he was joking. He would constantly hit on me every time Gracie had her back to us. I've always wanted to tell Gracie about it, but you should see her talk about Luke. She's so clearly in love with him, so for her sake I've kept my mouth shut and tried my best to just avoid him. Which isn't really hard because I and Gracie are both working women, and we are not in the house 24/7. Anyways, it wasn't even serious. I think he just derived this creepy pleasure by making me uncomfortable. It made me feel like, I don't know, a man or something. But either way, I handled him. Until last week. See, I was home alone taking a shower when I heard some noises coming from the other room. I was supposed to be meeting a few friends from work and knew for certain that Gracie wasn't home and she had gone to some kind of retreat with her office. I quickly shut the shower in case it was a burglar and he realized where I was. I quickly donned on some clothes even though I was drenched, and I peeked my head out of the bathroom. Gracie's door was wide open. I grabbed a knife from the kitchen on my way in and saw Luke snooping around in her room. I was terrified when I saw him there because as far as I knew, he didn't have the house keys. So how did he get in? When Luke spotted me, he gave me a charming smile and made a joke about my drenched condition that I don't want to even think about. I asked him why he was in my house while Gracie was gone on a retreat. He claimed that he had left his wallet here when he was last there. He was probably here a few days ago because that was the last time Gracie was here. He was clearly lying, unless he, didn't need his wallet for days? What kind of guy do you know goes without his wallet for days? But I didn't call him out on it. I didn't want him to stick around even for a few more seconds. He claimed that he didn't know that I would be around. Shouldn't I be at work? I ignored him. My life is my business and none of his. By the time I asked him how he got in, he stood up with a wallet in his hand. Then he left for the front door. I again asked him how he got in without being given the house keys, but he pretended to not have heard me. I was just there, standing, shaking a bit, if I'm being honest with you. 2 days later, Gracie returned, and I asked her then if she had given Luke a house key without my knowledge, and how wrong was that of her? but she was just confused, saying that she did not give him any sort of key. So I told her how he dropped by without ringing the bell or anything, and Gracie claimed that I must have left the door unlocked. That shut me up. It was not a secret between us that both of us are kind of bad at remembering things. We lost things a lot around the house, so she was right. Maybe I didn't remember to lock the door, really. But I kept on thinking that I must have locked the door if I was going to go shower. Forgetting to lock the door was a very unsafe thing to do. But when Luke came around next, I just could not keep it in. He is just so creepy when Gracie isn't looking. In front of Gracie, he's a gentleman and everybody would love to be with. But the way he looks at me is if trying to crawl into my skin. It really makes me want to crawl out of my skin. And the smirk he has saved just for me gives me goosebumps. Luke and Gracie had clearly talked about the incident because Luke confirmed that I had left the door open. He had just dropped by for his wallet and found the door unlocked and thought that he would lock the door on his own way out. But wasn't he shocked when he saw me in the house? If he had expected the door to be locked, why would he drop by when neither Gracie nor I would be around? His story clearly has so many loopholes that I swore to bring it to my cousin when we were alone. Also, technically, he trespassed into our house. So after he left, I brought the matter up with Gracie last night. I told her that Luke really creeps me out, especially because I didn't really believe him in his story about the day. I told her about the inconsistencies and how I think he practically trespassed into our home. I also told her about how he constantly hits on me when she was having her back turned. Gracie asked me what she was supposed to do after this, and I don't know. I told her that she should either break up with him or not bring him around so much because I was uncomfortable. Instead of taking my concerns seriously, she flipped out. She got mad at me for criticizing her boyfriend and claimed that I was just jealous because she had such a great boyfriend and I was destined to be single forever. She said that I can't see her happy and am making these lies up to make her doubt her very loving boyfriend. Then she claimed that Luke had warned her about this earlier. He had claimed that he felt like I was always interested in him and even warned Gracie about me. But she had not taken him seriously before this. Guys, I was so shocked. Gracie claimed that Luke thought I was jealous of her and that this conversation just proved that he was right about me, about everything. I was very hurt by this conversation. I mean, how can Gracie believe her boyfriend of 4 years over me? We've been sisters since we were born. And no, I've never looked at Luke like I'm interested in him. I've just always had this weird vibe about him, if I'm being honest with you guys. Heck, I didn't even approve Gracie of dating him. I'm just mad because Luke is clearly manipulating my cousin. All those lies he put in my cousin's minds are proof of that. He's not a good man, and I really want Gracie to see the truth of it all. However, I have no idea what to do. Do you guys have any advice? If you do, I would love the help. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So today's story is a little different than the average. It looks like OP, Tara, is stuck in a very difficult position because her best friend, her sister, growing up, practically sisters, they don't believe each other. One thinks that the other is lying and vice versa. Guys, if you were in this position right now before we read the updates, tell me in the comment section what you would do. There's multiple updates to hop into, and if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we are here every day dropping a new crazy story. Here's update number 1, guys. Hey, it's me. It's Tara. It's been a few days since I confronted Gracie with how her boyfriend hit on me and how he practically trespassed into our house. Things aren't going well. Gracie has completely stopped talking to me. She completely ignores my existence and she does not respond when I ask her a question. She just pretends like I'm not even there. It's pretty exhausting because she's acting like a child instead of thinking things through like an adult. And the worst part is that she's bringing Luke home even more than before, and I know it's on purpose. I think she thinks that she's making me jealous by shoving her boyfriend into my presence, but it's having the opposite effect on me, I'm telling you. And if you think that's bad, well, let me tell you about Luke. He's been getting even cockier and cockier, and it's getting very, very bad. Ugh, let me tell you about it. Luke once smacked my butt and gave me a smug smirk, like he knew that he was in control. He knows that if I tell this to Gracie, she won't believe me and hate me even more. He's just getting more and more confident in his ability to control the situation. He touches my hand without my consent, my shoulders while passing by, and he grabs my waist like he has the right to. It's all very uncomfortable and creepy for me, and I really don't like it. I'm in a really bad place in the house because of this. I'd barely gotten out of my bedroom when he was around. Once I had to go meet with a few friends, and I left the house through the narrow window in my room, instead of going through the front door because I could not bear to see Luke's smug face. In these few days, he has pretended to be this peacemaker. He would pretend to invite me to watch movies with them in front of Gracie. He would pretend to care about ordering extra food to share with me, just to make Gracie believe that he was this great dude. All the while, he gives me this vile look. I hate men like this who think that they can get away with anything, everything. And the worst thing is that he's practically living with us now. When I go to the office, he's there, and when I come back home from work, Gracie brings him back too, and honestly, I'm just frustrated by both of their behavior. Especially Gracie. After all, she's supposed to be my sister and take my side. I'm genuinely thinking about capturing all of this on film. Before this, he never touched me inappropriately, but now that he does, I can record it and show it to Gracie. Is that a good plan? I don't know what to do. All I know is that I don't want Gracie to be dating this creep. She deserves this so much better. He's clearly a viper. Maybe if I show her some proof, she'll trust me again and get rid of him. Update number 2. Hey guys, it's Tara again. Only a few days ago, I told you that I was going to capture proof of my cousin's boyfriend hitting me. To prove to her that I'm not lying to her about anything, you won't believe what I captured, though. I can't believe it myself. I was just hoping to capture Luke touching me inappropriately because recently he's been taking these liberties upon himself because, well, he's confident that he's in control of the situation. And Gracie won't believe whatever he does to me. I set out to prove him wrong. Men like him should not be given such power for long, and they need to be brought down a peg. I'd begun hanging out in the common areas more just to catch him in the act while hiding my phone behind plants and photo frames. So far, I had only captured him touching my arm and trying to get to a cupboard while I was standing just in front of him. Of course, all of it can be excused, so I didn't really think it was sufficient evidence to prove my point. However, I captured a very peculiar incident, indeed. I was testing out this camera pin I'd gotten yesterday in the morning. I'd gotten fed up with capturing him with my phone because my phone battery is crap. I thought that I had turned that pin off and just put it into the pencil stand, hoping to find a good spot for the next day. But it was capturing everything in my room. When I came back in the evening, I realized that I had left it on and the battery was dead. It can only capture for an hour or two, and I needed to charge it. Well, I charged it all right, and transferred the video it had captured to my laptop. I took a cursory glance at the video and found something chilling. It was Luke. He casually walked into my room and looked around. He went straight to my bedside drawer where I usually keep my money. I couldn't see exactly what he was doing, but he turned around as he stuffed some money into his pant pocket. I was shocked. But I was terrified when he began walking to the hidden camera. However, he wasn't interested in it. Instead, he was looking for my jewelry drawer. He didn't even notice the camera. He picked out the gold ring I've been raving about for months to Gracie and pocketed it. Then he casually walked out of my room. For years, I had thought that I was forgetful. I blamed it on working too much, and I thought that having to work made my memory bad. I thought that I just lost money and jewelry all the time because I was irresponsible. But apparently it's because Luke steals them. This wasn't the evidence I was looking for when I began, but this is the evidence that I have, and I plan to destroy Luke. But before that, I need to do some recon myself. I'll keep you guys posted. Update number 3. Hey guys, I am here for an update. It's Tara. Last week I told you that I caught my cousin's boyfriend stealing from me on video. I decided to destroy Luke for how he has manipulated my cousin's sister against me. I just needed to do some recon, and I did so today. Gracie was still ignoring me as her life depended on it. However, I had begun spending more time in the common area when Luke was around, mostly just to eavesdrop on their conversation. I have no idea what Luke does exactly, so I needed to know more about the times he won't be home. I overheard Luke asking Gracie if she would like to go meet his friends for a few hours in the upcoming weekend. I knew that all I needed to do was infiltrate into this house after he picked Gracie up from our home. So that's exactly what I did this morning. I broke into Luke's house. It wasn't that difficult. I knew he had a few male housemates. I just rang the door and asked one of them if Lukey Luke was around. Of course, he said that he wasn't. So I asked him if I could wait in his room, if that was okay. I quietly locked the door behind me and began searching his room from top to bottom. I found all sorts of jewelry and trinkets that the only women would have. I was shocked to see that most of it wasn't mine, or Gracie's, and almost all of it was kept in 2 big shoeboxes under his bed. I began wondering if he had done this to other people as well in the past. So I decided to snoop into his laptop. Maybe I could find something somewhere, and I didn't have much hope from it. But I did see that he had Instagram open on the laptop. I didn't know that he had an Instagram account at all. He regularly would brag about being better than most men because he didn't have an Insta. I checked the account and saw that he was talking to multiple women. Most of the text sounded very, very romantic, making me wonder if he was actually cheating on my cousin. But, I didn't really have much time to waste and only gave the text a cursory glance and quickly jotted down their Instagram handle. For later. I, of course, took pictures of his treasure box and took pictures of the jewelry I knew was mine and Gracie's. I left it all where I found it, though. So there was evidence of his thievery for later. I bid my farewell to his housemate, saying that I had a family emergency and could not wait for Luke to come around anymore. I just sent a text to all the Instagram accounts I thought were suspicious, and I'm waiting for their responses. I typed this. I suspect that Luke is cheating on Gracie with these women, while also stealing from them like he's stealing from us. I'm just waiting for confirmation from these girls, and then I'll take this to the police. Update number 4. Hey, it's Tara. Hey guys, it's Tara again. So 3 days ago, I texted all the women I suspected that my cousin's boyfriend was having an affair with while stealing from them also. I had texted 7 women in total, but only 6 women even gave me a reply. And amongst these 6 women, only 3 admitted that they were dating Luke. I texted them that I had some news about the guy that they were dating that I think he's stealing from them. It wasn't difficult to gauge that, yes, they've been missing cash recently, and even jewelry. I asked them to meet me at the park near my home if they wanted to see the evidence I had and teach him a lesson. I also texted Gracie to meet me at the park. I told her it was an utmost emergency, and then I knew she was mad at me, but I need her. I know she won't be able to resist this, and she might be mad at me, but I know she loves me. A sister's love doesn't just evaporate in thin air because of a man. However much the man wants for that to happen, I was right. Gracie did come around first. I told her that I had something to show her. She needs to just wait for it. First came Samantha, apparently whose very expensive watch that belonged to her father before he died was just gone. She had been heartbroken when she thought she lost it. Then came Sherry, just behind Samantha. She had started noticing her cash missing a lot. And then came Bianca. She was this short, petite woman with an attitude, and she was mad that Luke had stolen from her. I told them that Luke had been hitting on me even though he was dating my cousin. Gracie tried to interrupt me, but I spoke over her. I told them that I caught him stealing from my room by mistake, and showed them the clip. Then I told them all that I decided to search his room. I went to his house and found a full box of women's jewelry, and lots of trinkets. I showed them pictures, and some of them recognized the stuff. Then I told them about finding his Instagram account and contacting him. Samantha, Sherry, and Bianca knew to some extent what was happening, but Gracie had been shell-shocked. We decided that we should invite Luke here and call the cops on him. Well, Gracie offered to call him himself, and she claimed that if she had made it seem like I wanted to apologize to him, he would come here ASAP, leaving whatever he was doing in the middle of the dust. Oh boy, was she right. He came to the park and was terrified when he saw all 5 women. But we had already called the cops and given them all the evidence I had. They cuffed him then and there, while some of them had gone to his house to extract all the things that he had stolen from us. And who knows how many other women. Finally, Luke is going to pay for what he did. Final update. Hey guys, well, it's Tara. Just for one last final update. It's been a month since we called the cops on Luke for stealing from me. And also stealing from my cousin. and 3 more women we did not even know back then. Gracie feels super bad for accusing me of the things that she accused me of, and it's safe to say that we're back to being best friends and sisters. It wasn't difficult to forgive her because it wasn't her fault but her man's. I mean, sure, I was frustrated that she chose him over me, but he had been manipulating her for some time against me, and she had not believed him until I badmouthed her. Anyways, Luke's friends bailed him out, but we filed a case against him. The court case will begin next month, and Bianca is a lawyer. That idiot stole from a lawyer, and she did not even ask to be paid for her services. She thinks that we have the case in the bag. We have enough evidence to bury him. Actually, all of this has brought us together, really. We have our own group chat now. We might start a podcast. Samantha and Sherry are very online with us, and Bianca's the serious type and only chips in sometimes with the gossip. But at least Luke has brought this unlikely group of women together, right? Luke did try to come around to talk to Gracie. The others revealed that he did the same to them. Only Bianca opened the door for him and told him exactly what she wished to do with him once she got him to court. He never bothered any of us ever again. After this, Bianca, well, she's a terrifying woman. I think it's because her temper has nowhere else to go in her small frame. I have a lot of trust in her. There's no way she won't win this case. Well, thank you for following me on this. I know everything took a weird turn when I found Luke stealing from us, and then him having an affair. But knowing that I could vent here when my cousin wasn't talking to me, it helped me understand and unburden myself, so thank you and goodbye.